The island we went to was supposed to have been secured by the ground forces. They hadn't gotten a handle on things by the time we got there, so now we were stuck in the middle of a half-assed campaign. My job was to get the planes ready for combat, making repairs and handing them over to our troop of cons. Thing is, the enemy still had the hangars. The comms were still down, so none of us knew what the hell was going on. The last transmission I heard before everything went to shit was that some prisoners from an Osean military penal unit rioted and managed to escape. They stole some jets and now they were flying around, taking out their former allies left and right. I wonder if any units like ours were out here, creeping around. Hearing the Osean jets firing at each other overhead chipped away at morale. Since the radio was out, it was quiet. I liked it better that way. All I heard was the gunfire. Here we were, walking around carrying rifles. We were pilots, damn it. Friendly fire will probably kill us. You know things are desperate when the guards that used to lock us into solitary are now telling us it's better we all stick together. I guess they think our odds of surviving this war are better that way. After walking for miles across the battlefield, we came across the wreckage of a plane. Passenger, not military. I knew that rose. It was an Erusian liaison plane. The guard's dogs smelled something and took off. They led us to a cliff. And the bodies.
Today, I lost everything. When Osea attacked our capital, my father, a man who was never really suited to being the king, was killed. I was to be flown out of the war zone to safety, but the plane was shot down by rebels. The entire crew was killed in the crash. Soldiers appeared and one shot at me. My dog went after him and shot him to pieces. He was my best friend. After all those speeches I gave about working together for peace, I thought everyone felt the same as I did. I'm sure the soldier who shot at me knew I was the Princess of Erusia. He was Erusian too. More soldiers have come. Now, there is no one left to protect me. I am so numb, I cannot move. I watch as one of their dogs approaches. It sniffs mournfully at my dead friend. I wonder if it grieves for him as much as I do. I can barely think. I feel weaker by the minute. I don't know who these soldiers are with, but I managed to take a sip of the water they gave me.
How long have you been here?
Somehow, I muster the courage to answer the woman's question. I tell her I've been there 3 days. They gather around me with grim looks on their faces. What would they do if they knew I was the Erusian princess? After searching the cockpit of the plane, the woman who spoke to me before came back to me.
This is an air-to-ground tactical radio. It still works!
I noticed she walked with a limp. She knelt down next to me and asked her companions to give me some food. And then, very softly, she said,
"You see, I used to listen to your broadcasts, Your Royal Highness."
Just what did you see here?
Okay, enough talk. Your opinions have all been taken into consideration. Beyond the seizure of Forbanti, which is important, and supporting the Erusian officer, at this point, I just don't know what our strategy is.
Strider Squadron, sortie ASAP.
This is Tango 2-3, pursued by multiple tanks and APCs.
They'll all go down if we don't pull back the landing craft. And what? Abandon Tango 2-3?
Something's not right.
Tango 2-3, we don't have the firepower to assist you. You're on your own.
Please, we need help!
Wagtail is on the Ocean landing ship. What's going on? What did you say?
Multiple bogies inbound. Damn it. Prepare for anti-air combat.
This is the AWACS Lancaster. The aircrafts in your area belong to the LRSSG.
Allied aircraft. A retreating vehicle is taking fire. Requesting assistance.
Roger.
Got a positive ID.
Their artillery fire just missed us off our starboard side.
Target acquired. Strider 1, target destroyed. Update us on Tyler Island.
Couldn't be worse. Our forces are scattered and on the run.
They're on the run?
We were waiting for retreating units here to carry them out to safety. Do me a favor, Lancaster. Many of our allies are cut off. They need support and an escape route.
Understood. We'll do what we can. Let's help retreating Ocean forces. Take out any hostiles in their area. Don't engage till targets are ID'd.
The boots on the ground don't need more people shooting at them.
Thanks. It's absolute chaos out there. The Erusians are even starting to fight amongst themselves.
Well, now we know what's going on, but shit.
Caution.
We're all over here. The bodies of dead civilians. I don't think they were part of the fight. Look at that. They're all lined up. No, they are not combatants. Some of them are away.
Machine gun range.
I can guess what happened here. I really don't want to think about it. Erusian bastards. It's a blatant war crime. Take photos of evidence. We've got the photograph. We'll head back to HQ soon. Give us another 30 minutes. Help me! And then it's going to one with the children of proper burial.
They're Erusian. Jesus, they're firing at each other. Is this the norm around here? It's all crazy people.
We are in the middle of a mission to take back the mesh.
Try to destroy it.
The supply ship is munitions depot. It's highly combustible. We can choose to send the mass sniper today, or we can turn this thing around.
Missile.
The Erusian ground forces show no sign of letting up. We're taking heavy damage.
Missile.
In gun range.
Missile.
Don't pursue too deep. We
Missile.
just need to buy some time.
Missile.
Hold at bay until operation feeding time. Move away from the mass driver.
Missile.
It's a big maze.
Bring the anti-tank missile. Hit that heavy armor at the front line. Don't stop!
The rebels are here. Let the first one go by and detonate on the second.
Missile.
All aircraft, search every nook of the island. We're not leaving anyone behind.
Missile.
This whole operation is crazy. Stop fighting.
Launched.
You're with us. Can you see the enemy APC from there? Calling friendly birds. Take out the hostiles in our area. Get us out of this hellhole. We need help with build and running.
Missile.
I count 12 dead bodies here.
Missile.
The team is upper middle class. These were still by, so they could be researchers and their families. Most likely they were involved with Belka.
Missile.
Push him back! Fire! Fire at will!
Missile.
We need more ammo!
Missile. 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 Missile.
Enemy on your back.
Missile. 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 Missile.
Our only ally is the Russian government forces. Don't mistake them for rebels.
Ambush! Stay calm! Recon the right! It's fine if we take a little damage. We need to finish this fight now.
Roger. Enemy has a lock on you.
Missile.
Strider 1, we've identified the unknown targets.
We did it! We're moving out! Leave the dead behind! We'll come back to this island one day and send them off properly.
Missile.
An explosion inside! Continue the countdown.
Missile.
Stop the countdown! There's still one arsenal bird left. Strider 1, set them on. You'll have a fighting chance.
Three strikes, count to three, and the enemy's gone.
Our last vehicle has been destroyed. Let's get out of here.
Let's get moving! Hit the gas and don't let up until we reach the extraction point! I don't want to see anyone, hostile or friendly!
Find my target. It's the Ocean military.
Don't they know they're on the same side?
We'll be firing at each other.
Missile.
This is AWACS Longcaster. We're uploading the latest ID data. Check your TAC terminal.
Confirmed. The info is for an allied AWAC. Hold your fire!
Missile.
Roger. What are we supposed to believe? Who should we follow?
Missile.
You guys got out alive. You have time to figure it out.
Use cameras to track the supply ships. Don't fight with your backs to the supply ship. If it's hit, we're done for.
Our guys still got the enemy air support. What do we do now? Get in the tank!
Missile.
Allied retreat looks good.
Missile. Missile.
Wait, multiple bogies from the east.
Their timing tells me they're not here to bring good news.
Missile.
We need to ID the bogies. Take them down if they're hostile.
Understood.
Missile.
Taking fire from a Russian aircraft!
Missile.
Trigger, that was an ally. Identified then attack.
Hell, you're killing your own men.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Strider Squadron, near an armada of bogies. Identify them.
Missile. Missile.
These are unguided. Stay on course.
Missile.
Just get this done with.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Gotcha, pal.
Visual.
Like an eagle. Identification complete. It's Erusian bombers and their escorts.
Count's prophecy has come true. Take out all bombers, or they'll flatten our allies.
Plenty of civilian casualties as well.
Missile.
Precision bombing is impossible in
Missile.
these conditions. Maybe they know they can't. We're gonna drop them all.
Draw the enemy's attention here. If you're a rebirth, remember the faces of those who pushed for more.
Missile.
Grab 2, attack field.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Chaff
Ammunition
inflation
0.
completed.
Target locked.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Heads up. These reinforcements
Missile.
are elite.
Bombers are nearing the island. We're running out of time. Strider 1, missile launched.
Launch control.
Missile. Missile. Ammunition 0. Missile.
Enemy on your back.
Missile.
Closing. Confirm launch
Missile.
readiness. Affirmative.
Missile.
This is our last chance for
Missile.
Operation Launch control. Roger.
Strider 1 crashed. Let's help retreating Ocean forces. Take out any hostiles in their area. Don't engage till targets are ID'd.
The boots on the ground don't need more people shooting at them.
Thanks. It's
Missile.
absolute chaos out there.
Missile.
The Russians are even starting to fight amongst themselves.
Destroyed by Strider 1. Well, now we know what's going on, but shit.
There's more over here. My body's getting civilians. I faster.
Missile.
Some of them running away.
Missile.
That's what happened here.
Missile.
I really don't want to think
Missile.
about it. Castle's getting faster. There's a blatant war crime. Three strikes, count to three, and the enemy's gone.
Our last vehicle has been destroyed. Let's get out of here.
Let's get moving! Let's examine! Don't let up until we reach the extraction point!
Missile.
I don't want to see anyone! Hostile or friendly!
Missile. Caution. Missile.
Go with us! The enemy APC from there!
You don't even know who we are.
Bring the anti-tank missile! Hit that heavy armor at the front line!
Missile.
Don't stop!
Caution. Pull up. Missile. Missile.
Strider 1, target destroyed.
Missile.
I just got the photograph. We'll head back to east.
Missile.
Just give us another 30
Missile.
minutes. I'm sure we want to
Missile.
the children are probably
Missile.
Watch your back! Fire! Fire at will!
It's the Ocean military.
Don't they know they're on the same side?
Missile.
Firing at each other!
Missile.
This is AWACS Longcaster. We're uploading the latest ID data.
Missile.
Check your TAC terminal.
Missile.
Hold your fire! First, the info is from an allied AWACS. Hold your fire! Roger. We're close to the lead. Who can we follow?
Missile.
You guys got out alive.
Missile.
You have time to figure it out.
Missile.
Don't use that, Johnny. We just need to find some time. Hold them at bay until operation meeting time. Move away from the mass driver.
Missile. Missile.
Our guys think we got the enemy too. What do we do now?
Missile.
Get in the tank!
I'm on its back.
Allied retreat looks good.
I count 12 dead bodies.
Missile.
Some of them are flat. Reports nearby, so they could be searching for the traveler. Most likely, they were involved with self-defense.
Missile. 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 Missile.
Strider 1, target fire.
Missile.
Get in the landing craft!
Missile.
Many thanks, Longcaster.
Missile.
We have to leave our place to die.
Understood.
Missile.
Strider 1, Fox 2.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Some rebels are here.
Missile.
Get out there and do something!
Warning, enemy has a beat on you.
You hear us? We're taking fire from multiple enemy tanks!
Strider 1, target destroyed.
Caution.
All aircraft, search every nook of the island. We're not leaving anyone behind.
Caution.
It's no use! Work to the right! Fire at that supply ship!
They're erosion. Jesus, they're firing at each other. Is this the norm around here?
It's all crazy.
It's the radicals that shot us in the back. I'll make them pay for this. Mission to take back the mass driver. The supply ship is a munitions depot. It's highly combustible.
Missile. Missile.
An explosion! It's nice! Continue the countdown.
Missile.
It's not stupid.
Missile.
Do the countdown! Left. If we can fill it full of bombs, then Arussia will have a fighting chance. Use cameras to track the supply ships. Don't fight with your backs to the supply ship!
Missile.
If it's hit, we're done for.
Missile. Missile.
Don't use sailing them! They know they're shooting at friendlies! Get closer! We'll overhit them from here!
Missile. Missile. Caution. Missile.
Strider 1, we've identified the unknown targets.
Missile. Missile.
You're asking for friendly fire. ID your targets.
Missile.
Just delay their advance.
Caution. Pull up.
Target destroyed by Strider 1.
Someone get out of here, hurry! If you let them through, we're as good as dead!
Wait, multiple bogies from the east.
Their timing tells me they're not here to bring good news.
We need to ID the bogies. Take them down if they're hostile.
Understood.
Bogies inbound. Escort fighters, we're counting on you. Should we fire? Even if we're not fired upon? Of course.
Visual.
Like an eagle.
Predator Squadron. You're near an armada of bogies. Identify them. Watch it. Enemy has a lock on you. Fox 2.
And their escorts.
Count's prophecy has come true. Take out all bombers. They'll flatten our allies.
Plenty of civilian casualties as well. Precision bombing is impossible in these conditions. Maybe they know they can't. We're gonna drop them all.
Missile. Flight leader. Enemy on your back. This is launch control. The enemy is closing. Confirm launch readiness. This is our last chance for Operation Leading Time. Launch control. Roger that.
Target locked.
Missile. 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 Missile.
Bombers are nearing the island. We're running out of time. Only half the bombers remain. We can't let even one get away.
Missile. 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 Missile.
Missile inbound. Drinking.
Missile. 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 Missile.
Missile hit.
Missile. Missile.
More bombers approaching. Intercept them now.
Missile.
Strider 1, Fox 2.
Missile. Missile.
Behind the enemy.
Missile. 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 Missile.
All enemy bombers have been destroyed.
We did it.
Continue with your mission.
This whole operation is crazy. Stop running.
Damn it! They're too good! Are they really from Oceania?
Strider 1, target
We're
destroyed.
moving out. Leave the cat behind. We'll come back to this island one day and send them off properly.
Watch it. Enemy has a lock on you.
Missile.
That goes for the same flag, but they're running on fumes and low on ammo.
Missile.
Hey you, dumbass with the scratches on his tail. Hear me? I need you to help some people. There's a group of refugees surrounded by Rouge's tanks right here. Say their future's not destroyed.
This is a secure military line. Who is this?
Me. You can call me the Scrap Queen.
Lancaster. She's an ally. Trigger and I'd know that voice anywhere.
So you're still breathing, Sir Count.
Here, let me have a word. Hey, it's been a while.
Missile.
I had a feeling the two of you were still alive. Remember, stick with Trigger and you'll make it.
I have a bit of intel for you. I'll share it if you can help those refugees. Count me in.
That's right.
Echo 13. All hostiles are down.
Understood. This is our last chance. We'll see how far we can go. Thanks. But will we make it in time?
A landing ship is waiting for you.
Right. We leave the wounded. This will guarantee us the one-way ticket to hell. Pretty sure we're there already.
We've destroyed all of the targets. All bogies should be ID'd now. Mission complete. Okay, Scrap Queen. Send us the target coordinates.
I'm thinking about how I'd do that.
Don't you have a laser target indicator?
Why would she...
Use a smoke canister. And who's taking this to the enemy's doorstep? Not me. Wait, you moron! Wait! What are you doing, dumbass? Here! Attack right here!
Lancaster, we've confirmed the location of the flare.
That's them. All aircraft, we just updated your threat matrix via data link. Take out those targets.
Don't miss. We don't want to hit the pretty ladies down there.
Missile.
Hurry!
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Target acquired.
Missile.
Good job! Enemy connected to them. I don't think I could even do anything with that scrap.
Caution. Missile. Missile.
Strider 1, target eliminated.
That takes care of them. No civilian casualties. Nice going. Do you hear the singing?
Begin the terminal countdown. Pressure signal. Cooling systems on.
Lancaster, a promise is a promise. Here's the intel. I heard it from an illusion soldier that defected. The supply ships will be launched soon.
Yeah, that is valuable information.
That doesn't sound good.
But can it be trusted?
Not sure. Heard it from a man who said he wanted to atone for his sins. Up to you to trust him or not.
Understood. Good luck.
Releasing safety. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Launch. 1, 2, 3. The mass driver is accelerating.
The supply ships have been launched from the mass driver. If the supply ships make it to the Arsenal bird, they'll be able to resupply it. They may be loaded with new weaponry that we don't even know about. We have no choice but to take down the supply ships before they can get within the Arsenal bird's air defense network. You've got to hurry or you're not going to make it. 3 minutes to the enemy's air defense network.
Missile. Missile.
All aircraft, remain on high alert.
Missile.
We got bandits incoming on radar.
Missile.
You're gonna have to forget
Missile.
about them for now. Focus on
Missile.
destroying that supply ship first.
They took out Strider 1.
The supply ships have been launched from the mass driver. If the supply ships make it to the Arsenal bird, they'll be able to resupply it. They may be loaded with new weaponry that we don't even know about. We have no choice but to take down the supply ships before they can get within the Arsenal bird's air defense network. You've got to hurry or you're not going to make it. 3 minutes to the enemy's air defense network.
Which one first?
Missile.
Don't try to follow after the
Missile.
supply ships. Stick close to
Missile.
trigger.
Missile.
All aircraft, remain on high
Missile.
alert. We got bandits incoming on
Missile.
radar. You're gonna have to
Missile.
forget about them for now. Focus on destroying that supply ship first.
We're sitting ducks like this.
If we let the supply ship get too far away, we'll never be able to catch it.
The supply ship's in the clouds. We can't find it.
Do they really think they can continue to dodge?
So they're trying to feed that giant monster of a bird. We can't let them complete their mission.
All we need to do is slow them down.
If we're too close, we'll get caught up in the explosion. 90 seconds to the enemy's air defense network.
Missile. 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 Missile.
60 seconds remain. Missile at the supply ship dead on. Remember, there are 2 supply ships out there. Hurry up and shoot the other one down.
Missile.
Missile away. Strata 1, target acquired. Hope you're all enjoying the pretty fireworks. If this thing had any windows, we could have seen it for ourselves. Nice work, team.
We're gonna find ourselves a boat and leave this island. We'll be taking the refugees, along with any deserters from the Erusian military.
Who's the girl that ran at the tanks with the smoke canister? A few more crazies like her, and life down there may have been a tad bit easier.
What do you think would have happened to those refugees if you hadn't intervened? The princess saw what happened. They were little kids.
That's why I like the sky. You don't have to see those types of things.
Does this mean we're that much closer to ending the war?
No, we just basically prevented it from going on forever.
Count's right. We have no choice but to return to our original base. Our base that is nearly out of food and fuel. We need to do something.
Good. Take a seat. Everyone's here. All right. Good work in sinking the supply ships. Not to mention saving the refugees. However, we're in no position to start celebrating. Even the commander here is starting to fray from the stress. Can't say I blame him. Now, Tyler Island is in a state of complete anarchy. This base isn't safe either. The faces you see around you are the only friends we've got. Take a good look.
We found a boat, then sailed away from the island. We had to. We didn't belong there. The new guy's name was George. I noticed when the anarchist said his name, he said it with a thick Belkan accent. How did you know that he was from Belka?
Well, both my parents were from Belka, so...
You never told me that. They say that Belkans are known for their conspiracies.
That's just a stereotype. Now, I simply stated my honest opinion and was thrown in jail for it.
The princess sat there looking miserable. That was a dumbass stunt she pulled back there, but it got us on this boat. Take a look at that. This ship is heading for a single rope that's hanging down from the sky. Do you know how far the end of that rope reaches?
Outer space.
No. It is a direct connection to the very potential of mankind itself. Or at least it was until war erupted.
It's my strong belief that the rope might be connected to a very distant, faraway source of great conflict and strife. Even long before the war, the whole world started falling apart once Harling began trying to build it. I often wonder what was going through Harling's mind when he was trying to destroy the very thing that so many people were sacrificed in order to create.
Sacrificed? What do you mean?
Have you seen all of those countless old space shuttles on Tyler Island that are no longer in use?
Yeah. I always thought of them as a good source of scrap. They're an obsolete technology that was abandoned during the construction of the space elevator. Which would mean that if the space elevator was destroyed, it would be that much harder for mankind to reach the stars. Until we find another way.
But even then, Harling still went ahead and tried to destroy it. At the cost of his own life.
That's not the way I heard it. What I heard was that he sacrificed himself to protect the tower from an incoming missile.
Oh, I was told he tried to fly his ship into the tower in order to destroy it.
I wonder which story is true, Your Royal Highness.
I don't know. Looking at it objectively, it's reasonable to believe that Harling had both options before him.
When it comes to which one you think he took, I guess it's like a mirror.
Yes, it is. It's like a mirror looking into your own soul, based on whichever choice you believe it was. At the moment, though, I can only see darkness. I think that thing should be destroyed.
It's time for the briefing. Although, since we don't have any contact with HQ, it's not like this is an official mission. Anyway, it looks like the seizure of Tyler Island and the relief from Osea have been postponed. In the meantime, we just have to do what we can to survive. Since losing its capital city of Ferbanti, Erusian forces have separated into smaller, autonomous factions. It looks like Erusia's largest force and leading faction will pass through the area around this base. The space elevator is significant to them, so they're probably heading there.
Should we intercept?
Why? I doubt they're gonna start a fight now.
Our top priority should be to get home. Let's go already.
Yeah. It's not like we have the supplies, power, or even a real reason to put up a fight. But, what are we going to do if they bring the fight to us? We need to be ready to push them back. If we head inland from here towards Erusia, there's an old castle that's been converted into a stockpiling base. Shalaji Castle. It's currently occupied by some of the Erusian forces that broke off, but we need ammo and fuel. They appear to have converted a freeway into a runway, so we can expect them to have the capacity for air combat. But they'll be easier to handle than Erusia's lead faction. Well, we can't use all our aircraft to attack. The transport carrying the stolen supplies needs support. Okay, Strider Squadron. You head out first, and neuter the dogs at the stockpiling base. Rendezvous with Cyclops Squadron, who will bring the transport. Then we bring the supplies back to this base.
Got it.
Aircraft are our only threat.
Sounds good.
We'll make it. We're all gonna fly home. Together.
It's time to get busy, convicts. Proceed with your mission now.
Follow orders, Trigger. Taxi to the right.
Spare 15, the runway's free. You have permission to take off. Go now.
Woohoo! My blood's boiling!
Toss the chump in solitary once he gets back. Spare 8, when you land, your ass is grass. Spare 15, takeoff confirmed. Altitude restriction lifted. Go.
So, no missiles again. The FCS is locked.
Damn, you're good. Let's make this more interesting.
Prisoners use nothing without supervision. Not even a pencil.
Stall warning.
Here comes Harling's murderer.
Stall warning.
He shot 2 missiles right between old Harling's eyes. Always in the know, aren't you? Haha. In this war, intel is a life or death matter.
Settle down. Excited to have another murderer with you?
Missile.
Yeah!
Missile.
This is Bandog. Spare 15, I'm handling surveillance. The bombers that attacked the runway are coming back for another round. I know it's just a dummy runway. You guys just need to make a lot of noise. Make them think there's fighters at the base.
Anyone got a smoke? I'll owe you one.
If any of you die, just think of it as you atoning for your crimes.
Much appreciated.
One more thing. Any aircraft leaving the operation area will be shot down. You hear me?
Righto.
Missile. 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 Missile.
Enemy is flat. Here's a juicy target.
Look at them. Blowing up a bunch of paper planes.
Missile.
The enemy seems to think our air force is concentrated on this base. Everything on the ground is fake. Can't the enemy see that?
Missile.
Is that convincing?
Missile. Missile.
The enemy just hit the control tower.
Missile.
What's with all the shit?
Missile.
Send in the fire team. Do not let the enemy get closer. Are you trying to kill me?
Shall I order them to shoot down all?
Missile. Missile.
Commander McKinsey? Damn it!
Missile.
Spare squadron,
Missile.
listen up. Shoot down
Missile.
everything carrying bombs.
Missile.
Weapons free. You're cleared to engage.
Missile.
Show no mercy.
Missile.
Righto. Done by now.
Missile.
Have to rethink the odds.
Missile.
Wanna bet which one of us gets the first kill after it starts?
This is not a first.
If count's going
I
forward,
decide
so am
whether
I.
you die.
All right, I'm assuming command. All aircraft support me. Who's gonna dance to your lines? I'll show you all how it's done.
Spare 15, bandit splashed.
Trigger, keep an eye on your head count. We can compare later. Yeah, I'm betting that report will get dressed up real pretty.
Head to the next target. Radar pinged. Incoming hostile group detected. Take care of them.
Righto.
A bomber's at high altitude. Stop watching your own asses and look up.
Allow me to educate you. In this unit, you get your tail marked with scratches. The more scratches, the more heinous the crime. They're called sin lines. You have 3 scratches, right, Trigger? Well, you are Harling's murderer.
Your ass is mine. Die.
Box 2. Missile incoming, evade.
Missile in the air! Heads up!
Bingo. Direct hit.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Still flying.
Missile.
Evading enemy missile.
Missile.
Pursuing enemy.
Missile. Missile.
Place is decent at what he's famous for. I wouldn't go that far. Target's that slow on a challenge.
Missile.
Don't let it go to your head.
Missile.
Box 2.
Missile.
Multiple bandits inbound. They got bombers and support.
All aircraft follow me. You too, murderer.
Missile.
Jeez, now he thinks he's
Missile.
squadron leader.
Missile. 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 Missile.
Trigger, don't get shut down now. I got good money riding on your survival. Some guys have got big money riding on you going down, so watch your back.
Spare 7, shut up. You don't need to yap to pull the trigger.
Trigger again! Don't get excited. It's beginner's luck.
There's another friendly. They're coming around with their guns.
Bet he killed Harling with his guns, too. This is a pretty nice ride. It's been serviced pretty good. Can't believe these things used to be scrap. Just what kind of magic does she have up her sleeves anyway? I don't know what her problem is. Maybe she's loyalty or something. That's because she's the scrap queen. Queen? More like a bad tempered tomboy. Trigger got most of them. Maybe even all of them. That was dumb luck, Tabloid.
Spare 15, don't take all the fun away from your comrades. 4 targets remaining. 3 targets remaining.
Count! Check your 6! Now!
Enemy on your tail. Watch out.
The targets are still active. Keep up the attack.
What the hell are you doing? Are you...
Wilco, and McKenzie, please maintain silence for a moment. 2 targets remaining.
Would someone make a spark in conflicts? There's some kind of reason. The paper-mache strategy you beat seems to be doing the trick. Guess every man and his dog has an idea how to end the war.
Spare 15, what the hell are you doing? Attack! 1 bandit left. Take him down now.
First come, first served.
This is School 6. Attack missed. Trying again.
All targets confirmed eliminated.
Yeah! Hell yeah! Still alive, Harling's murderer? Then dinner's on me tonight.
Cut the chatter, Spare Squadron. Mission complete. RTB. Trigger's still with us. Must have the devil in his corner. Spare 7, what happens if the one you've bet on dies while landing?
Then you win. So what, you're not done?
Just checking.
Spare 15, this is the control tower. Make your landing check. We don't want a wreck blocking the runway. Spare 15, the runway's free.
Throw.
It's time for the brief.
Strider Squadron, aircraft prep complete. You're cleared to taxi. Ocean forces are in the region ahead. No allies here. No need to ID your target. We've set a number of priority targets, focusing on their anti-aircraft weaponry. Okay, team, get to work.
Unidentified aircraft, not sure if friend or foe. Fire anyway. We don't have time to be wondering if they're friendlies or not.
So, we capture this base and take the fuel and supplies. That's the plan, right, Trigger?
You take if you want to live. That's how it was where I grew up.
I was just double-checking mission orders, Husha.
Benny, aim carefully and take him down. Our anti-air guns are destroyed. Abandon and fall back to our rear position. Retreat!
Strider 1, target eliminated. There are more vehicles along the road. They don't appear to be military. They're Erusian refugees. They must be fleeing since the conflict got worse.
Unidentified aircraft. Identify at once or we'll open fire.
What are you talking about? They already are firing on us. He's confused. I know.
We're all out of ammo. Don't give up. We're not going to lose our country again. Don't stop the car. It'll make us an easier target.
So what's this faction split from the Erusian military? The autonomous state of Shalashi used to be a nation. The region has always leaned towards independence. Those who want to restore their homelands flock to it. Apparently, their core consists of officers from Vaslij, which neighbored Shalashi.
Are they our enemies?
They're our enemy's enemy, but not our friends.
They're bombing us. We're unable to use the SAMs. Help me!
Entering cloud cover.
The resistance is strong. They seem pretty desperate. Target locked.
They have more aircraft. More planes incoming. Fire more missiles. Does Soul Squad know?
We're coming up on the castle. Let's hurry up and capture this base so we can get its fuel and supplies. Shit!
I feel like we're a group of burglars.
Don't say that. This is for our survival.
Yeah, I know. Missiles.
That's Shalashi Castle.
Already. Scouts. Taking both civilians and refugees without discrimination. Get away from the stone buildings and take shelter somewhere sturdier or underground. Drop where you are and cover your head and keep your jet engines.
Target destroyed.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Strider 3 launching missile. Hostile has a lock.
That warehouse is doing ammunition. Still have plenty of missiles left, and the launcher is toast. Please, somebody answer us!
Missile.
Strider 1, target acquired.
Missile.
Get position behind bandits. These guys are blinding us. The SAM is out. We're running out of ways to strike back. We've lost more than half of our forces. Let them have our eyes. As long as our nation's dead, the young will carry on.
Missile.
New hostiles. All aircraft confirmed.
Missile.
This town is of high cultural value. It's unfortunate we had to bomb it like we did.
We do what we need to survive, right?
Not something I'll tell my son about.
Cancel takeoff. Soul Squadron, stand by.
Negative. This battle zone if we don't get up there. Along with hope for restoration. Don't worry. Once we accelerate inside the tunnel, they won't be able to shoot us down that easily.
Their interceptors are in the air.
All right.
speed inside the tunnel is insane.
Soul Squadron, airborne. Shoot the invaders out of our skies. Good luck, Soul Squadron.
Understood it. You are in violation of Shiraji airspace. Turn around and we'll orders to shoot you down.
This is the Ocean Long Range Strategic Strike Group. Land immediately and hand over your planes and base to us.
You must be the snowbirds. It's absurd for you to talk in some town you're causing one of the mutants at Forbanti. You bastard!
Missile.
You defile this country.
Missile.
As long as you're here, this country will never know peace.
Missile.
Shit.
Missile.
Warning, the enemy has a beat on you. Target was not struck.
Missile. Missile.
These guys are pretty accomplished fighter pilots.
Missile away.
I'm out! Ejecting! I hope he's okay. Bailing out under those conditions.
Missile.
I can see his parachute. Pray he makes it to safety.
3 to go. Don't let them work together. Back up trigger.
Wilco. Righto.
Stall warning. Stall warning. Missile. Missile.
Roll's been hit. He's
Missile.
ejected. Damn
Missile.
it. We can't even last long enough to
Missile.
buy ourselves some time. As expected, but a lucky shot would be boring. Some kind of energy wave. No, it's a railgun.
Strider 1, you have a bogey approaching at high speed. Bearing 090, straight from the east. High-speed projectile launch from the aircraft.
I'm testing this aircraft. You must find your own sky. We can still help you.
Missile.
Don't waste your life. Dedicate it to reclaiming that which you call home. Furthermore, you must find someone to guide you. I am not that person. Yeah. Muscle Gene Squad will be retreating. Those fighting below are advised to temporarily withdraw. Don't die.
Stall
As
warning.
long as we're alive, our hopes and dreams live on. Hey, look at the color of that plane. Damn, that's the flames of hell. Time for payback.
Negative. No good. I can't get close enough.
Leave it to Trigger. The rest of us will just get in the way. Rest warm up further than you can never slip through. Welcome. Might just cost us our lives.
Hit on unidentified aircraft. The enemy's mobility is still unfazed. Attack.
That bastard's moving in a way that minimizes the damage even when he's hit. Keep firing those missiles until you blow them to pieces.
Unidentified aircraft. Land your plane and surrender. Why do you feel the need to continue fighting on your own?
That's funny. It seems like one of the pilots is also fighting alone.
He's not alone. Look around you.
I see. Perhaps it would be best to entrust the future to pilots like that. Let me test him then to see if he's truly worthy.
Hey, look. It's like the sky's been sliced wide open. The experimental unit probably made themselves a new toy.
Somebody guide us. We can't think of anyone other than me. Aim to get a behind Tom. We have no place in the cosmos of the skies. But there with the velocity air force should be fighting against it. This weapon is not enough to take down 3 strikes. This aircraft is my body. If they are not enough, then I must put my soul into it.
Missile.
There are pilots like you
has been hit. Are you all right?
He's fine, but if he takes another hit, it's a miracle you're not in a million pieces.
Mr. X is ascending rapidly.
The missiles went straight for the sun. Not a casual move.
Missile.
Strata 1, target acquired.
Not bad.
Strider 1 scored another hit.
He's still flying, but his plane's been damaged. Finish him off, Trigger. They knocked out Trigger!
High-speed projectile launched from the aircraft.
I'm testing this aircraft. You must find your own sky. We can still help you. Don't waste your life. Dedicate it to reclaiming that which you call home. Furthermore, you must find someone to guide you. I am not that person. Yui. Hostile team squad will be retreating. Those fighting below are advised to temporarily withdraw. Don't die. As long as we're alive, our hopes and dreams live on.
Hey, look at the color of that plane. Damn, that's the flames of hell. Time for payback.
Missile.
Negative. No good. I can't get close enough.
Leave it to Trigger. The rest of us will just get in the way. The rest form a perimeter to catch whatever slips through. We'll come. Might just cost us our lives.
Hit on unidentified aircraft. The enemy's mobility is still unfazed. Keep up the attack.
Additional prediction complete.
Someone to guide us. Wait, I can't think of anyone other than you. Tell me something. Drone fighters don't belong in the blue. They have no place in the cosmos of the skies. I'm there with the most legit Air Force should be fighting against them.
Unidentified aircraft. Land your plane and surrender. Why do you feel the need to continue fighting on your own?
That's funny. It seems like one of your pilots is also fighting alone.
He's not alone. Look around you.
I see. Perhaps it would have been best to entrust the future to pilots like that. Let me test him then to see if he's truly worthy. Hey, look. Looks like the sky's been sliced wide open.
Missile.
blown to pieces.
100%. Targeting correction, 0.8 degrees. Ready to fire.
Railgun is firing again. Bad news. Its accuracy is increasing with each shot. Take him down as quickly as possible.
Cooldown complete. System power at 50%. Targeting correction, 0.02 degrees.
This weapon is not enough to take down 3 strikes. This aircraft is my body. If they are not enough, then I must put my soul into it.
Strider 1, Fox 3.
There are pilots like you in every generation, and I've felled every last one of them.
Gun range. Target acquired.
No, that's not it. That will not do.
Strider 1 scored another hit.
It's a hit. The unidentified aircraft is going down.
He got him. Trigger has splashed a bandit.
Can you hear me? Pilot with the 3 strikes. This was all due to my ego. I unleashed pure chaos upon this world, just so I could keep my wings. Put a stop to the drone production.
Is this a message to Trigger? What does it mean?
I don't think this war is over just because we shot down Mr. X. Yeah, it's gonna take something else entirely to end this thing. I just don't know what.
The resupply went well. We should be okay on food and fuel reserves for a little while at least. Luckily, the rumor that the Erusian army is advancing nearby is only a rumor. There's no sign of them from the skies. Rumors, rumors, rumors. This is what happens when you lose communications. But we got one good fact. The plane Trigger shot down was an advanced model of the X-02 Wyvern. It was developed in the last Continental War. Erusia had a lot up their sleeves. Apparently, they were even supposed to have Belkin aircraft back in the First War. What if Trigger couldn't shoot it down? Just thinking about it gives me chills. We're lucky to be here. In war, you never know what's lurking behind the curtains. But it looks like everything's loose now. A solid chain of command, rest periods after sorties, a battlefield where you know friend from foe. All of that's gone now, lost in a fog of confusion. It feels like a distant dream. Now, just how the hell are we gonna get out of this mess?
When we got to the mainland, we found the space elevator's support facility. I guess this was the factory where they built the gigantic structure the elevator traveled in. There was this little girl sitting in front of a mural. When the princess saw her, she shuddered like she'd seen a ghost. The girl had a stuffed animal. This was the day after the shit went down at Tyler Island. She walked right up to the princess, took her hand, and led her into the factory. One thing's for sure, they knew each other. The factory'd been converted to a production line for Erusian drones. It was fully automated and chugging along, making drone after drone after drone. Once they got inside, the princess stopped and just stood there. Another girl was there with a man in a lab coat. He was trying to use his keyboard, but she wouldn't let him. She took a data chip and threw it on the ground. Then she walked over to us and took the gun from the prison guard's holster. She pulled the trigger and destroyed the chip. Later, I found out that the girl with the gun and the one with the stuffed animal were sisters. They were also the granddaughters of Mihai A. Shalaji, the legendary pilot. Gramps used to talk about him. He said Mihai was the top ace from 2 wars ago. Know any Belkans? Because this guy was a Belkan, and they love to stir shit up. Pitting nations against other nations is a particular favorite of theirs, along with developing hyper-advanced technology.
That's right. I'm Belkan, born and raised. My country is gone now. Rather than surrender to its enemy, Belka detonated 7 nuclear weapons on its own soil. My people scattered around the globe, living in the shadows of other countries. We had a new purpose: to breed wars. The theory was that through war, we could achieve our destiny and our revenge. I had just finished inputting Mihai's data when his granddaughter came in. She destroyed the only copy I had of the information I squeezed out of him. The girl loved Mihai. No one knew more than her just how hard I pushed her grandfather for that data, how much I made him sacrifice in the process. I promised his granddaughters that his efforts were not in vain, that it could end this terrible war. But in the end, it only caused more chaos and despair. We were responsible for all this damage, all this tragedy. Now, we were going to pay for it. The Erusians, once our allies, would see to that. I had lost the drive to continue my work, even before I noticed Mihai's granddaughters eyeing me with suspicion that one day. I should have stopped then, for all our sakes. Mihai's granddaughter tossed the gun aside. She said if she resorted to killing, she'd just end up like the rest of us. And by us, she meant everyone, including the princess. Like me, the princess was afraid to look into the girl's eyes. She knew that by encouraging her people, she kept the war going. Mihai and his granddaughter were victims of it, and now, they too were paying the price.
Is this for Belka? Or for Erussia? My grandfather had only one wish: to continue soaring through the endless skies. That was the only place where he felt alive. But I don't even have a country to call home, let alone the sky. The Black Forest, the lake, they are no longer mine. Even though those lands were once cherished by my late mother. We have to learn to put that sense of nostalgia behind us and behave like mature adults.
My homeland. She's right. It feels so far away now. The woman with the rifle approached me. She was focused on more pressing issues.
I checked the computer. All of the data on the legendary ace had already been installed.
No, I pulled it before it was completed. However, there are 2 aircraft that are already scheduled to be manufactured based on that data.
We must destroy the factory.
This isn't the only one. There are more facilities just like it, and the 2 planes containing the data will be manufactured at one of those facilities.
So, this place runs on solar power that the space elevator generates, right? How about the others? We can destroy the space elevator and cut the power to them. First things first, let's take this one out.
I'll show you which locations to target.
I stood there, thinking about that mural by the factory's entrance. Harling commissioned it to be painted. I realized that in the background, behind the dancing figures, the artist had painted several space elevators. I understand now. The space elevator wasn't designed to exploit Erusia after all.
Good. And afterwards, we'll bring down the space elevator itself. No matter why it was built, right now, it's the root of this chaos.
I wonder...
Yes?
I wonder which path you would choose when looking at Harling's mirror.
Let's get the briefing started.
We've done enough air operations. Just let us go home.
There's no path for us to get home. Whatever direction you fly, it'll be right into a hail of enemy fire. Earlier, we received a communication via the partially restored general network. Here is what it contained. Apparently, the Erusian radicals have gathered around the space elevator, as it's a source of energy. Give the warmongers a powerful energy source, and you give them the luxury to keep on fighting. In response to this, people from both Osea and Erusia have joined forces, and will take down the final Arsenal bird in a saturation attack from the air and the sea. Once that's achieved, they'll take the space elevator from the aggressors.
Has the source been verified?
It could be fake. I hear you, but take a look at what's written at the end. Hey, dumbass. If you want to bring the world back from the brink, go to the lighthouse. You can see the future there.
Dumbass? Sounds familiar.
Certainly does. It's from those guys we met in Tyler Island, the 444 Squadron. It's a message to all those looking to end the war, but I also think it's a message for Trigger.
Guess we'll do what it says.
Okay. Well then, I'm thinking we go roast that damn bird.
Looks like we're all on the same page. It's time to end this war. Time to fly, guys. Let's go get that Arsenal bird.
Strider Squadron, sortie ASAP. I need help! Don't let them damage more! Show them what the erosion, no, what fighter pilots are made of! Thanks, I owe you. No sweat. Head into formation. We have the numbers.
Well, if it isn't the LRSSG, looks like our luck has turned. LRSSG, you will secure air superiority. There are Erusian aircraft in the Coalition, so they have been ID'd as friendly via the data link.
Just confirmed it.
The Erusian government aircraft, including drones, will show up as hostiles. You two aces, I'm thinking it's time to show us what you've got.
We don't have two anymore. Guess nobody told them.
That's quite true, Count. It's not just two. Wiseman trained his squad well. Everyone's still in it as an ace. He'd be proud of you all.
To all of you who have gathered here, regardless of your country, this is headquarters of the Ocean Army Southern Command. Wait, you can forget that designation. We are a coalition formed exclusively for the sole purpose of taking down the Arsenal Bird. Wait until we're ready to strike the Arsenal Bird in unison.
Roger. What's he doing speaking on an open channel? The enemy can hear everything he's saying. There's no other choice. The Erusian aircraft are in the coalition as well.
Missile. This is Skull Squadron and Rigel Squadron of the Erusian Air Force. We're here on our own. Broadcast number is your airspace.
This is Su-2. Republic of Bosnia Jerusalem to rendezvous. Southern Squadron now. This is Rex' crew.
Count, ease up. Engagement is forbidden.
Don't worry, I know. We need every bird we can call upon. Even if they were flying with the guy that killed Wiseman. Some of their squadrons are in weird formations.
They have manned aircraft with the UAVs in flight mode.
All this just to keep the war going. The UAVs were sluggish once the leader went down.
I feel as much. Drones without leaders are slow as hell. The biggest deployment of their slave bird.
It's a pretty sloppy with this run. One wrong move and you'll be surrounded.
Missile, remain!
Okay, commencing transmission. I'm speaking with the terrestrial broadcasting and video transmission networks. It's not important for my... First, our rules. Destroy the space elevator. Second, we want power to the drone factory cut in order to keep the stop talks war and chaos that its products cause. And last, we want to bring an end to this pointless war that has given rise to a state of anarchy. Let me tell you what's going on right now. The land is overrun with refugees who have lost their homes. This is no isolated incident. In spite of that, the war continues to rage overhead. Are the friendly Erusians rebels or what?
They're rebels, but I'm sure it's more complicated than that. Finish up on current events later. Focus on the enemy.
Copy that. Take a look. See that line continuing above the horizon? The cable is into the sky as far as the eye can see. Not many people know this, but the space elevator is the world's tallest transmission tower. In theory, these radio waves cover exactly half their arc. We've jacked their signal in order to reach out to you.
Missile. Follow us to Strider 1. Missile.
Whenever I am that like a slapstick routine. Dodged!
Target acquired.
With the communications infrastructure down, this broadcast can only be transmitted to certain regions. If you can access the server, consider yourself lucky. You get to see a real live princess. Hey, Cosette, say hello.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
I'm on his rear.
Missile.
The time has come to show the enemy the true
Missile. Missile.
I have it. Firing.
Missile.
The space elevator is
Missile.
not with the yet.
Missile.
This is where we shall begin our counterattack.
Missile.
Our princess is looking at a mural. There's another one here too. It shows a whole bunch of space elevators. Skies unknown. Cosette, let's go. Yes!
Warning. Missiles launched from the arsenal bird. They're Helios projectiles. All aircraft stay clear of the blast area.
Missile. Missile.
10 seconds to impact.
Missile.
5,
Missile.
4, 3,
Missile.
2,
Missile.
1. Impact.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Somebody got caught in that explosion.
Broadcaster, you have more incoming.
Unknown. Proceed with caution.
Wilco.
We can't switch off the security system. We've got this. If what he said is true, this will give us at least 10 seconds. Cosette! Cosette! What the hell's wrong with you? Get back here! Aw, you have a problem. The princess went by herself into the maintenance area and has shut us out.
Missile.
No idea what got her going this time.
Missile. Missile.
Missile launched from the arsenal bird. Shit. Airburst type.
Missile. Missile.
Helios arriving in 10 seconds.
Missile.
5, 4,
Missile.
3, 2.
Missile.
Helios arrived.
Together. I can't get shot. I'm bailing out.
Missile. Missile.
I said we were going to take down the space elevator, but it's not like we can just go out there and chop it down.
Missile.
At the top of the windbreak, 6 location markers have been set in place. They monitor distortions in the space elevator. Those are the locations we need to target. If the sensors go bad, the elevator's observation system will think the elevator has fallen. Until its safety can be confirmed, all microwaves will be stopped.
Oh, I get it. What a party.
I was going to do it myself. Dumbass.
Helios launched from the arsenal bird.
Missile. Missile.
5 seconds.
Missile. Missile.
3,
Missile.
2. Impact now.
You caught that. It's over.
Helios arriving in 10 seconds.
Missile.
5 seconds to arrival. 2. Inbound.
I'm going out.
30 seconds remaining.
Don't turn your back on him.
Missile.
Plane will ice up if you stay in there too long.
Missile.
Strider 1, missile.
The enemy has a lock on me.
Missile.
The monster bird is in our trap. We'll use a saturation attack. Wait for the signal.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Strider 1, Fox 2.
Star warning.
We're out of time.
warning.
Mission is a failure. All aircraft withdraw.